Hey folks, got a 2021 Grand Cherokee here with a V6. We're going to do front brakes here. You want to follow along? I'll show you. In the back here, a little plastic cover, alright? You got to take these little plastic covers off. That keeps the dirt out of the Allen key bolts that are there. And the Allen key bolts that I used was an American size 7/16. Okay, so you can use a metric size that'll fit in there. Okay, after you take the two bolts off, this caliper is going to come out, and it comes out with the brake pad. Okay, pull this out. Okay, it's going to come out with the brake pad, at least the back brake pad. Sit it up here for now. This is the time when it's out. You put your little brake pad tool, caliper tool, put it in there, compress it, and put your, what you want to do is you want to push both pistons all the way into the caliper. Once it's all the way in, then you can remove the old brake pads. Okay, once you remove the old brake pads, all right, you notice that the caliper pistons are all the way in. So now what you want to do is you want to hang it up out of the way so that you don't pull on the brake hose. Let me do that. All right, so after you hang that up, the other brake pad comes right out. Good thing about these, with these brake pads, is that there's no metal shims or hardware over here. So what you're going to do is you're going to wire brush this, hit it with brake clean, and it'll come out nice and clean. All right, now in the back here, it's got these funny bolts. This is going to use an E20. These are the types of bolts that they are. It's like it torques, but it's kind of like a reverse torques. It's like an external torques. So what I got here is a E20. E20 is the size of those bolts. You take them out, 1, 2, and this caliper is going to come out. Just be careful it doesn't fall on your foot. Like that. All right, like I said, just wire brush that, nice and clean, all the surfaces, and you'll be okay there. Take these bolts off because it's going to come flying. Now for the rotor, okay, inside here there's an O-ring right here. I took it out already. Just be careful. Just get that O-ring out of there. You know how many times people couldn't get a rotor off? They kept hitting it because the silly little O-ring was holding on strong. All right, so what I want to do is I want to spray some penetrating oil in here. I'm going to give this a nice little whack, and this rotor should come right out. All right, let's do that. All right, so a little penetrating oil in there. Got a nice little tiny sledge. Something with weight, okay? Not a claw hammer that you do for nails. Give it a nice whack. Then it'll pop right out. Once it pops right out, just take the rotor. It's a heavy one. I'm going to grab it with 2 hands. There you go. All right. And now it's off. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use some AutoZone rotors, 2-year warranty. Duralast 72112, and I got the gold brake pads DG1904A. All right, these are the ones I'm going to use. 2-year warranty. Great stuff. They have the 3-year one too if you want. It's another 25 bucks each. All right, so I want to clean these up and put it together. Here's a quick visual of that rear rotor, the rear of the front rotor. See how wide the brake pad is? Okay, that's how wide it is. Look how much is actually touching the surface. It's just the inside. You see, the whole thickness of the pad, this is not even being used because it's rusty. All right, so this is basically age. All right, here's that O-ring that I told you about. All right, just hold it in the rotor, and this will fall right into the groove. All right, make sure it's in the groove. Hit a little nail, a little screwdriver in there, push it in there, and you'll be fine. All right, now for the caliper bracket, I wire brushed it, cleaned it up the best I can, and I'm going to mount it with the E20 bolts, and we'll finish that up. Okay, so let's do that. Here, those E20 bolts going in. All right, that'll hold this caliper bracket on. tighten them up, talk them to specs, and then we move forward. Alright, now off to the caliper. I put some lubricant on it, slide glide brake lubricant. I put it on the 2 pistons, and I put it on the other side of the caliper that's touching the brake pads. Then we put the brake pads on, and you see these things are gonna snap into those little holes over there, and that's gonna hold that brake pad in there. Okay, let's do that. There you go. Okay, once it's snapped in, I'm gonna take the other brake pad. I'm gonna put it on here. Okay, sits right in there. Like I said, there's no hardware, nothing holding these little buggers on. Then we'll take this nice heavy caliper. I'm gonna place it right in here. I'm gonna put the 2 bolts back. Okay. Well, can't do it with one hand, but let's do it. There you go. Okay, watch is on there. A little tag. All right. I'm gonna lock these in here. Screw them in with that little Allen. Okay, that'll hold there. You know what I forgot at the very beginning? I forgot to take these little clips off. There's a little clip here. Just pry it off with a little screwdriver and it'll come right out. All right, let's get my Allen and start putting these little bolts back in to the caliper bracket. All right, once you start screwing these Allens in, make them nice and tight, torque them to specs, and then you can put the little covers back on. All right, these little covers just snap right in, cover up the hole. All right, and then we're going to put that spring on. That's the hardest part right there, the spring. Let's do that. All right, so here it is to put that spring on. All right. What do I do with that spring? I put it somewhere, I forgot all about it. All right, let's get another one. All right. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the 2 outsides to grab first. Okay. Then I'm going to grab the middle and get these to go in those holes. That's the trick. Okay. There you go. I don't like these. These are not as good as the stock ones, because they're not really grabbing at all. Look at that. I don't think I like these. I have to put the old ones back on. Let me compare them to the old ones. The old ones look just like them, but you know what? I don't like them. I don't like that feel. Let's see if I can put the old ones back on. I mean, right off the bat, you can tell they're going to be a lot stronger. Because I'm already pinching my finger already. All right, let's try it. It's one. It is a lot better. I don't know what's up with those aftermarket ones, people. There you go. Perfect. Listen, if you don't struggle, there's something wrong with them. Look at that. Okay? Like I said, when you want to take them off later, just pry them off, but save them, because you know what? Looks like the ones that came with the brakes, they suck. Look at this. I can knock it and it won't even come off. All right? So that's it, people. Brakes are done. Now to do the other side. Okay? Thanks for watching, folks. Ciao.